In December 2016, Orlando, Florida was a city wrapped in the warm glow of the holiday season, a place of manufactured magic and sun-drenched dreams, where families gathered and the year wound down in peaceful anticipation. But on a quiet residential street, under the soft twinkle of Christmas lights, a different story was about to unfold. A story of love turned to obsession, and obsession to violence. At the center of it was 24-year-old Sade Dixon. A devoted mother to two, she had a smile that could light up any room. Friends described her as full of life and energy. She was making plans, building a life, and joyfully preparing for a new chapter. She was pregnant. It was a future she was excited to embrace, but Sade was also trying to escape a darkening past. The father of her unborn child was 41-year-old Markeith Loyd. Their relationship had quickly soured, with charm devolving into control and jealousy. Loyd had a history of domestic violence, a pattern Sade was beginning to see. Recognizing the danger, she made the brave decision to end it. On the night of December 13th, she was at home with her family. It was supposed to be her sanctuary, but Loyd wouldn't let go. He showed up unannounced, demanding to talk. An argument erupted on the front lawn, fueled by Loyd's rage. Sade's family rushed to her side. Her brother, Ronald, tried to de-escalate, putting himself between his sister and the man menacing her. But there was no reasoning with Markeith Loyd. In a flash of fury, he pulled a gun and fired multiple times. Sade Dixon, pregnant and full of hope, fell to the ground. As Ronald desperately tried to pull his sister to safety, Loyd shot him too. Then, as Sade lay dying, he stood over her and fired again. It was an act of unimaginable cruelty. The 911 calls flooded in. When first responders arrived, they found a scene of chaos. 2 people down, a family shattered, and a killer who had vanished. Sade Dixon and her unborn child were pronounced dead. Her brother Ronald, though critically injured, would survive, a living witness to the horror. For the Orlando police, this wasn't just another homicide. The brutality, the known killer, and his violent history set off alarm bells. Markeith Loyd was not a man who would simply disappear. He had a long rap sheet, including battery on a law enforcement officer. Investigators knew they were hunting a man with a deep-seated hatred for authority and nothing to lose. And Loyd wasn't hiding. He was basking in infamy. In the days after the murder, he took to social media, posting a defiant, rambling video. He claimed self-defense, a bizarre narrative that defied all evidence. He wasn't running from the truth. He was trying to rewrite it, casting himself as the victim. To law enforcement, this confirmed Loyd was arrogant, unpredictable, and believed he was untouchable. He was taunting them. This single act of violence would spark one of the largest and most expensive manhunts in Florida's history. The chaos was only just beginning. Within hours, Orlando was locked down. A multi-agency task force formed, bringing together local, state, and federal resources. Tactical teams prepared for a violent confrontation. Every available officer was on the streets. The message was clear. Markeith Loyd was public enemy number 1. The manhunt played out in public. The police chief held urgent press conferences.
Responded quickly within minutes, began performing CPR, and she was transported to the hospital and pronounced dead.
Pleading for information. He will be caught, was the promise, but dread was growing. Loyd's face was everywhere, on flyers, on the news, on social media. A $60,000 reward was offered. Tips poured in, sending police on a frantic chase. They raided homes and followed up on every sighting, but Loyd was a phantom. Each lead was a dead end. The city held its breath. The story of Sade Dixon's murder spread a palpable fear. Her life and the life of her unborn child had been stolen. Now the man responsible was a boogeyman haunting Orlando as families prepared for Christmas. For weeks, he remained at large, a specter of violence looming over the holiday season, enabled by a network of associates who moved him from place to place, always one step ahead of the law. The manhunt stretched into the new year. Nearly a month had passed since Sade's murder, and the trail had grown cold. Then, on the morning of January 9th, 2017, a shopper at a Walmart on Princeton Street made a fateful call. They recognized a man in the checkout line. It was Markeith Loyd. He was buying groceries, moving through the store like any other citizen, a killer hiding in plain sight. As Loyd disappeared into the aisles, the city held its breath. No one knew what would happen next. The story, for now, was left in the shadows.